Hello everybody. I've had some requests to show how I tie my knots when I go salmon and steelhead fishing for my basic drift gear and egg loop. My knots are not the typical egg loop knots that a lot of people use. I have a real simple way of doing it, and some people may like it, some people may not, but by request I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, the reason why that I do it this way is I'm able to tie it quickly. It's very simple and it holds the knot well. It doesn't break if you do it correctly. And also, now that I've learned how to do it over the years, I can almost do it with my eyes shut. And with my eyes getting worse and having to wear reading glasses and such, or low light conditions, I can still do it. So all right, let's get to it. Okay, what I have here is just some green line. I normally wouldn't use line like this for leader material, but I'm hoping that it shows up better so you can see it. I have a regular octopus hook here. Got the eye. So I take the leader, go through the eye, pull out a little bit, make a loop so that end is laying right along the shank of the hook. You got the loop up above. It just looks just like that. Okay. You want to hold that in place like this. Make yourself a good size loop, because what you're going to do is you're going to use that loop to wrap around the shank of the hook. Okay, so while you're holding it, you want to go and bring this loop around the top of the shaft where one side is on either side of the shaft or shank. And then hold it down like that with your thumb. And then you take your finger. I like to use my middle finger, whatever works for you. It takes a little bit to get used to it, but and then while you're going to twist like this and wrap around the top of the shank, and then let go, and your thumb is going to keep tension on it like that. And so basically your thumb is the anchor point for the line, the loop, and you're just going to keep tension on it while you wrap it around the shank of the hook, and you just keep twisting like that. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to get about eight wraps should be good. With some lines and some hooks, you might want to go a little bit more, like 9 or 10. You want to get it so it's tight enough so you have enough wraps that it's not going to slide easily for you. And so I just keep twisting like this. See, so it's nice and tight. And then you see that loop, little loop right there that was laying along the shaft is still there. You pull that disappears. And then you pull this end. And there it is right there. It's very tight. Now you got a little loop there. So you can use this as your egg loop knot. The typical egg loop knot has those extra wraps that goes up this way too. So they start off this way, then they come back this way, and you have that loop. I don't think that's necessary and for most applications, and I can tie this actually pretty quick. I was going slow so you can see it. And I can pretty much do this with my eyes closed. I've done it enough times, so even in low light conditions, I can just do it by feel, I guess. Some of my friends that I've shown this to, they struggled at first, but once they got the hang of it, it goes really easy for them too. So what you do now is go and cut this tag end off. And you got yourself a little loop there. Now what I like to do when I use drift gear or corky, little cheater, you get your cheater. And then in this loop, you can put your little tuft of yarn. Stick that tuft inside this loop. Then you cinch it up just a little bit. And that yarn will actually keep the knot from sliding up into the eye, even if you didn't make it real tight. And I don't break knots right there. And there you go, just a real basic. The other thing, if you're fishing bait using this egg loop knot, it actually helps to have a little piece of yarn on here, in my opinion. I like to go and take a little strand of yarn, even fuzzy yarn. If you get it wet, twist it a little bit and just tie an overhand knot. Okay, so you just have a piece of yarn like that. You can do one overhand, two overhand. I usually just do one. Be able to pull it tight enough, it'll stay on there just fine. And then go and cut it. So now you have just a little piece of yarn like that that's on your line where the egg loop itself is. And there's a couple of reasons why I like having that. One is when you have that there like that, even if this knot slides up and you lose your bait, it's time to put some new bait on, you can actually just grab this yarn and it'll just pull. See that? Just pulls right out. I don't know what my dogs are doing over there. Bruno, what are you doing? Okay, so, and then when you put your eggs on, and you put the loop around the eggs, and then you pull on it, it just cinches right back up. Okay. Again, you grab this yarn, boom. Easy to pull the loop out. The other reason why I like having the yarn like that, even when I'm using the bait, and I like to have it right there, if the bait falls off, I still have something there, and I think that it holds the scent a little bit. So Got your rig like that. Time to put eggs on. Just pull the yarn. So you got a loop. Put the eggs on. Put the loop around the eggs. And then you pull on this. The yarn goes right up against the eggs. The egg falls off when you're casting or something, or you get a couple drifts and you just have a little piece of the bait left on there. The yarn's still there, and it's got a little bit of smell, I think. So that's my basic drift gear. Alright, so let's go here at regular speed. Yeah. Doesn't take me long to get this knot tied. Get a piece of yarn put into that loop. Put a corky or cheater on. Get the yarn in there and I'm good to go.